Hi there and welcome to Position 1 Power Equipment. My name is Adrian and today we're going to be looking at the P4100P lawnmower. I'll lay the contents of the packaging out on the table so you can see exactly what you're getting. First of all, we have the mower unit itself with its two handles folded down on top. Be very careful not to trap any of these cables when you're removing the handles or removing it from the packaging. Secondly, we have the P1PE grass collection basket. And finally, the user manual. Now, I do recommend that you read the manual thoroughly before use. And inside the bag with the manual is a spark plug spanner. And that's the contents of your packaging. So let's move on to the assembly of your lawnmower. Not much assembly to be done. Purely the two handles and a few little bits and bobs, and we shall go through that now. So let us start by carefully lifting up this upper handle, and you'll see that it is attached by a cable. And be very careful not to crimp or bend this cable when you're taking it apart. This handle with no cable on it is the lower part of the lawnmower handle, so we'll start by fitting that. The lower handle fits in these two locations here, in this sort of manner. So what we'll need to do to start with is to remove, first of all, the plastic hand wheel, the orange one, and the little spacer. So we'll do that on both sides. Just take two of them off. And now we're ready to fit the handle. If I just fit it over the bolt on the back first, as you can see, I've left the bolt in the hole. I'll just pull that one out, drop the handle into the approximate position where the bolt's going to pass through, line up the holes, and pass the bolt through the hole. Next, we need to refit this black plastic spacer, and you'll see it has a half round, and the half round goes towards the tube of the lower handle. And then simply refit the orange plastic wheel. So I'll do exactly the same on the other side. Refit the spacer with a half round facing the tube. And refit the little orange hand wheel. I'll just nip that one up. That's that one done. And that's the lower handle assembled. Please note that I had the upper handle over towards the front of the lawnmower while I was fitting the lower handle. We want this cable to pass over the top of the lower handle when we fit it. So I'll just place the handle over the rear bolt. On this side of the handle, I'll just slide the bolt back and slide it through the hole. Now I can lift the handle into position. Just hold it there loosely. It will actually stay there, as you can see before I put the bolts on. On with the spacer again, half rounded side towards the tube, and on with the plastic hand wheel. I won't tighten that up for a moment. I can go to the other side, exactly the same. Spacer on, plastic hand wheel, and now I can tighten it up. There we are. So having tightened up the rear one, I can now tighten up the front one. And that's the upper and lower handles fitted. So one final little job to do is a bit of housekeeping to tidy up this cable. And you'll see that on the frame comes this black plastic clip, and it simply goes around the tube and the cable in one, around about this position here, just to tidy up the cable out of the way so that it's not in your way when you're removing and replacing the grass catchment basket. So that's the handle assembled. Our next step is going to be to pull out the pull starter gently and thread it in this loop on the upper handle here. I shall show you that as a close-up. We place the pull start string over the top of the pigtail, simply loop it through the gap, and that's the handle in position, very close to the operating position. Your lawnmower ships to you with no engine oil in the engine, and it's vitally important that you put engine oil in the engine before even attempting to start. To fill the engine oil, firstly we need to remove the filler plug and dipstick. We rotate it anti-clockwise and we can withdraw it. You will see on the dipstick that it has a cross-hatched area and then the word max. Max obviously being maximum, and that would be the maximum oil level. Now you can use either a 1030 or 1540 engine oil and slowly fill the engine oil down through the filler tube until you reach the correct level. Do this nice and gently and allow it time to flow down into the bottom of the engine before testing with the dipstick. And to test the oil level, simply place the dipstick in the hole and withdraw it. And when you see that the oil level is on the maximum, you're at the correct oil level. So having filled it with engine oil, we simply replace the dipstick, rotating it clockwise, and just tighten it down firmly. And that's your engine oil filled. Let's move on to putting fuel in your lawnmower. First of all, a couple of safety notes. Never put fuel in the lawnmower when the engine is hot. Should you spill some fuel and you get any on the exhaust or any of the hot areas from the engine, it could well be a fire risk. So only fill the engine with fuel when the engine is cold, and certainly never do it with the engine running. Okay, so first of all we're going to need fresh unleaded petrol and a suitable container. So firstly we need to remove the filler cap, and this simply unscrews anti-clockwise and can simply be removed. Now, using fresh unleaded petrol, we can fill the fuel tank with fuel. Allow at least 25 millimeters of gap from the top of the filler neck to allow room for fuel expansion. So having filled it to the correct level with fuel, we can simply replace the fuel filler cap and screw it down firmly. So that's putting fuel in your lawnmower. So having fueled and oiled the lawnmower, let's talk about the starting procedure. This is the primer bulb here on the front of the engine, the red bulb. With a cold engine, you're going to need to push this primer bulb 2 to 5 times. With a warm engine, 1 to 3 times. On the top of the handle, at the operator position, you'll see this handle. This is the OPC lever, or Operator Present Control. When it's forward, the engine will never run or start. It will only start with this handle pulled back to this position here. When the engine is running, if you ever release this handle, the engine will stop. So this is the on-off switch, shall we call it, or the Operator Present Control. So to start your lawnmower, first prime it as I showed you earlier, pull back on this handle and pull start on your lawnmower. Once started, the engine will run on its own, and to stop the engine, simply release this handle. To fit the grass collection basket on the rear of the lawnmower, you will see these 2 bars here in the silver colour, and on the basket itself are these 2 hooks, one on either side. With the flap raised into this position, we simply hook the 2 hooks over the 2 metal bars. So to fit the basket, lift up the flap, bring the basket in, hook it over the 2 metal bars and release the flap. I'll give you another shot of that. So as you can see, the 2 hooks, simply bring the basket in, hook them over the metal bars and release the flap. And that's the basket fitted. Your lawnmower has a single point 6 position height adjuster. By pulling out on this handle here, you can rotate it into the lowest position at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and number 6. Number 6 would be the highest clearance. As you can see, single point, and that would be the lowest ground clearance for the shortest grass. Again, you can step it up anywhere between the 6 height positions along the way. So that's a single point, 6-position height adjuster. So that's the assembly instructions for your P4100P lawnmower. For more information on this or any of our other products, simply visit www.p1pe.co.uk. I've been Adrian, and happy gardening.